All right, let's move on now to our next interview this morning. As a photographer, he sees the world through the lens and he uses the pictures he takes to tell his stories.
And while the world witnessed on TV the devastation that hit Japan on March 11th, 1 year ago, Mathias Heng gathered his camera equipment and travelled right into the heart of some of the worst hit areas.
He's since travelled three other times to the various disaster zones, capturing poignant memories each time with his camera. And Mathias is now in studio to share with us what happened and how he felt when he went there. So Mathias, what was it like? Was it as overwhelming as we would expect it to have been to be there?
Yes, it was. When I was there, it was rather shocking for me to see the massive devastation, and just didn't know where to start as a photojournalist.
Well, as a photojournalist, your instinct, instantly you decide to pack your bags and go there. Why? Why just go there? It's so dangerous.
I suppose that's what photojournalist does. Basically, I am the witness. So if I'm not there, or my colleague photojournalists, we don't cover such news, the world wouldn't know what's happening.
Right.
So that's the reason why
You've since made 4 trips to Japan and documented everything that's going on there. What does it mean to you to go into a place like this and take photographs?
Well, my first trip basically was to cover the current situation, and I met a lot of Japanese people out there. And I realized that even in such crisis, they were really calm. There was no looting, people queuing for food. There was no panic at all. I've covered several earthquakes, and I covered the Banda Aceh tsunami as well. So I saw looting, people stealing, and when I saw what the Japanese people did, it was just unbelievable.
Okay, you have some pictures there. I think your pictures tell a lot more than what we'd be able to say. So could you show us a few? Thanks.
Okay, this image was taken in April, right after the tsunami and the aftermath. This was shot in Naturi, and what really amazes me is you see a massive devastation, and you see one house is still standing.
And this one, that was taken a year ago, right? When it just happened?
Yes, that was taken a year in 2011 in April.
Okay, and this one?
This was shot in Casanoma. In September, I went back.
Okay.
And
what is this?
It's a big ship that was washed into inland. And the Japanese people is just amazing. 6 months after I went back, as you can see, it's got wire poles.
The cables are up?
Yep. That motorcyclist was a postman. So I just can't imagine, like, in such a massive devastation area, and they're still working, and the postman is still delivering letters, because there are houses on beside the devastation area. So they still have to deliver and use the roads.
I mean, you mentioned the electric lines here, the poles in this photograph. I mean, your photos are almost a record of what's happening over the course of the last year. But what are the other changes that you've observed yourself?
The people. I've met a lot of them, and they've changed their life. I met this taxi driver. Before the tsunami, he was always for himself. But when the tsunami got hit, he realized that there was so many people, local and international, came in and helped. There were a lot of volunteers that really touched him. And to him now, his life is so precious. And whenever a stranger comes in, or a volunteer, or someone from overseas coming just to visit, it sort of really touched him, in the sense that, you put in effort just to come to my country and just to talk to them. And that really makes them happy.
So they're now grateful for the little things in life and the small things. So would you say that their sense of loss initially has been replaced by a sense of hope for the future?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
And what kind of challenges do you think people face moving forward from this?
Jobs, insecurity of, obviously, the nuclear in Fukushima, that's the most concern they have, that I've spoken to a lot of people. Rebuilding of their lives. The Japanese people, they're amazing and they're very strong deep inside, but once you get to know them, they start to open up. And the beauty of it,
just very touching.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, earlier we spoke with a girl from Fukushima, Tomomi, and she said that some of her friends and her as well feel like they're being discriminated against by people who don't live in Fukushima because of what they've been through. When you spoke to locals there, did you get the same kind of feeling, the same sentiment?
No.
No? Oh, so hers was probably quite unique?
Yes, it's quite unique. Yeah.
And of course, you've made a lot of friends yourself from your travels to the areas that have been affected. And what are your concerns for them?
I hope they will sort of come back to normal life, because a lot of them, I believe they do suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. It's just that they don't show it. Like I met this guy. He, in appearance, he was okay, but then when I got to know him better, he started to talk about it, and I could see there's a lot of stress in him. So I think that a lot of them, deep inside, are suffering deep inside.
I mean, I guess a lot of these things are things that you keep to yourself, and they're all boxed up. But what do you think people are doing to lift their spirits? I mean, that's something that you must have witnessed from your travels there.
Just by simple things, just like if someone visits them, they feel that they've not been forgotten, and they see hope in there. Like I'm doing my show, I'm having an exhibition. I just came back 2 weeks ago, and I showed them my work. Just by showing them my work, I don't speak Japanese. I only can say arigatou gozaimasu. And they don't speak English. I have a translator sometimes, but it's just that body language, eye contact, just by showing them my images, and a lot of them was just, they burst into tears. You know, they just can't believe it that, you know, the world is actually do care what's happening.
And we're looking at some of your pictures there right now, and they're going to be an exhibition at the cafe, is that right?
Yes, at the Cafe Gallery.
Yeah, and of course through your pictures you hope to be able to let others who go to the exhibition experience what you felt. So maybe very quickly, how did this whole experience affect you as an individual?
Well, this has sort of helped me to open up my horizon. Life is precious, life is unpredictable. Make the best out of it. So that's what has opened up my in this my trip.
All right, thank you very much, Mathias, for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing your experiences with us.
And that was Mathias Heng, a photographer who visited the affected areas in Japan in the immediate aftermath of last year's devastating earthquake and tsunami.
He also travelled there as recently as 2 weeks ago, and if you want to see his pictures, you can. If you're in Singapore, an exhibition of photographs taken by Matias in the aftermath of Japan's quake and tsunami opens to the public today.